What's up everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Michael Bisping thinks Paddy Pimblett should fight Ilia Topuria next. After Paddy Pimblett's controversial decision victory over Jared Gordon, there was much speculation as to what the future may hold for the streaking Scouser. While a win indicated a step up in competition was warranted, the controversial nature of the decision left many fight fans with a bad taste in their mouths. Since Paddy the Baddy likes to keep a busy schedule, it's no secret that fans are eager to find out what his next move is. Before the end of 2022, Pimblett seemed to indicate that he was open to fighting before his wedding in May. With no further word on the situation since then, UFC Hall of Famer Michael Bisping believes he has the perfect matchup for the baddie, Ilia Topuria. He spoke in a video on his YouTube channel saying, "I would say Paddy Pimblett, even though he's too big for the O2 Arena show, he's too big for it, one of the biggest arenas in the world, he's too big, I would say Paddy versus, you know what, I like that Ilia Topuria fight, even though Topuria is now fighting at 145. They've got backstory, they've got beef, they've got so that would be a good one." Although Topuria fights at 145 pounds, he's found success at lightweight as well. Back in March, he picked up a second round KO win over Jai Herbert at UFC Fight Night London, which earned him Performance of the Night honors. Considering all the bad blood between these two, do you think the UFC will book this fight? Give us your predictions on what the new year will hold for Pimblett in the comment section below. Artem Lobov ordered by judge to pay legal fees for failed injunction attempt. So far, things haven't been going Artem Lobov's way in regards to his ongoing lawsuits against Conor McGregor. The Russian Hammer and his team were attempting to get an injunction against McGregor after the former two-division champion called him a quote, rat on social media. But things didn't go according to plan. Lobov accused McGregor of labeling him as an informant with his use of the term rat, but a judge ruled against him, resulting in McGregor taking to social media to celebrate. This week, the High Court ruled that Lobov would also have to pay legal fees for the failed injunction. Fortunately for him, he won't have to pay until the end of the defamation case, which comes amid Lobov also suing McGregor for around $30 million in earnings from the Irish superstar's sale of his proper No. 12 Irish whiskey ownership. From the sounds of things, this feud is going to get worse before it gets better. Stay tuned for updates as they become available. Daniel Cormier reacts to Khabib stepping away from MMA. When news surfaced recently that Khabib Nurmagomedov was stepping away from the sport of MMA entirely, nobody knew what to think. Many, including Chael Sonnen, seemed to question the legitimacy of the reports, although AKA head coach Javier Mendez, he confirmed that the UFC Hall of Famer had spoken to him about his decision to step away from the sport, citing Nurmagomedov's desire to be there for his kids. This week, Nurmagomedov's longtime friend and training partner, fellow Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier, reacted to the news, saying,
"And Ryan Clark, I think about why you don't do commentary. Because you refuse to miss one of your son's football games, right? I think Khabib's there, where he's at a point in his life where he doesn't want to miss the important moments. And certain jobs take you away for the important moments. And Khabib is a family guy that is not willing to give that away anymore. So he wants to spend more time with his children, with his wife, with his mother."
According to reports, Khabib also won't be cornering his longtime friend and training partner Islam Makhachev in his upcoming showdown with Alexander the Great Volkanovski. What do you make of this situation? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Before we continue, make sure you give that like button some love and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the latest news. Dana White discusses repercussions for slapping his wife. UFC President Dana White crashed the media day on Wednesday, speaking to reporters in attendance about the abhorrent footage showing him slapping his wife at a New Year's event in Cabo. White spoke about the situation at length, shutting down those who have been defending him while taking full responsibility for the fact that he knows his reputation has been tarnished in the eyes of many. When White was asked about the possibility of facing repercussions for the altercation, he responded by saying this.
Yeah, well, I mean, what should the repercussions be? You tell me. I take 30 days off. How does that hurt me? I mean, I told you guys when we were going through COVID could last 10 years. I could set it out and, you know what I mean? What would be the problem? It's much like COVID, actually. You know, me leaving hurts the company, hurts my employees, hurts the fighters. Doesn't hurt me.
From the sounds of things, White isn't going anywhere and he will not be suspended. Although the altercation has resulted in him receiving widespread criticism, it appears as though Endeavor is sticking behind the longtime face of the UFC. What do you make of the situation and White's comments? should he face repercussions for his actions? Or is the humiliation he's faced enough? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Dustin Poirier thinks Conor McGregor beats Michael Chandler. Although there's been no word on when Conor McGregor will enter the USADA testing pool, Dana White has indicated that the former two-division champion will likely be returning to the octagon against Michael Chandler when he's ready. In the meantime, with little word on when McGregor will return, fans have been left to speculate as to how a showdown between Iron Mike and the Notorious One would play out. During a recent interview, Dustin Poirier, who has wins over both of these men, spoke about how he thinks things would play out between these two. In his eyes, Chandler is too hittable. While Chandler may have the wrestling advantage, the Diamond thinks it would result in him ultimately slowing down and getting hit even more. When it comes down to it, although Poirier may not be able to bet on McGregor, he'd certainly like to.
I would put money on Conor if it was going that if the fight happens.
Okay. And would you ever?
Not that I can't bet MMA. Not that I can, but
if the fight between McGregor and Chandler does end up taking place, how do you see things going? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Sean Strickland rips Paulo Costa amid ongoing contract dispute with the UFC. Former title challenger Paulo Costa has been involved in quite the lengthy contract dispute with the UFC. Going into his UFC 278 showdown with Luke Rockhold, Costa was under the impression that he was about to enter free agency following the fight. After the bout, however, Costa revealed that he still has one fight left on his contract. Despite that, he was already setting his sights on free agency, as he revealed at the time he wasn't earning enough money to make him want to re-sign with the UFC. After undergoing surgery on a broken hand, it was reported that Costa would be returning to action in Perth to square off with former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker. Although he stated that nothing was finalized, it seemed as though the bout was going to proceed as reported until the fight fell apart back in mid-December, as Costa cited failed negotiations with the UFC. Ahead of UFC Vegas 67 this weekend, short-notice headliner Sean Strickland believes Costa had no business demanding more money when he came into fight week massively overweight for his showdown with Marvin Vettori just over a year ago.
I mean, here's the thing about Costa, and I like Costa, but he's also he doesn't make weight. He's an idiot. So it's like when you're a and you go to the UFC and you say, hey, I want to do this. I almost fought Marvin Vettori on a 2-day notice because his wouldn't make weight. So it's like, it's hard, man. When you don't do the right things, it's hard to get the right things back.
With Strickland looking to return to the win column this weekend against Nasruddin Imavov, many have called for a fight between Strickland and Costa before the end of the year. Who do you want to see Paulo Costa square off against in the final fight of his contract? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. And now for our breaking news story of the day. Marvin Vettori thinks Alex Pereira will beat Israel Adesanya again. When Izzy Adesanya and Alex Pereira squared off in the main event of UFC 281, it seemed as though the last stylebender was on his way to a pretty decisive decision victory. But in the 5th round, Alex Pereira began to connect as he emptied the tank, ultimately knocking the champ down before battering him en route to a TKO victory. Immediately after the fight, Dana White spoke about the inevitable rematch between these two. Although Pereira is now 3-0 over Adesanya across 2 combat sports, the last stylebender's long reign atop the division warrants an immediate rematch. While there's been no word yet on when that rematch could possibly take place, many have been speculating as to how things could play out when they do meet again. During a recent interview with the Schmo, former title challenger Marvin Vettori weighed in on another fight between Adesanya and Pereira, saying,
No, if they fight with Izzy again, he'll beat Izzy again. It's just, I don't know, I feel like he had a mission on beating him, and then now he doesn't really even, I mean, of course he cares, because everybody cares about money, but he knows it's like, you know, it's risky to fight anybody that has a very good grappling, but I don't mind him, I like him, you know, so, you know, if I have a chance to fight him, definitely I want to fight him.
Considering the fact that fans have seen Adesanya bounce back from a loss before, it will be interesting to see whether he's able to replicate the success he had early on in the first fight when he had Pereira wobbled. If the two men match up once more in 2023, who do you think gets the win? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for joining us today. What do you make of what's going on in the fight world? Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all the latest news from the MMA Zone. See you next time.